came. Tonight we're going to be cooking a very simple Tortellini Boscaiola. This is a sauce that is from the northeast of Italy, and it's a very simple sauce that you can do on a weeknight. It doesn't take a lot of effort, it just takes a little bit of time on the stove for the flavours to develop. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get some olive oil heating up in our pan. And while that's happening, we've got a few ingredients that I've prepped beforehand. We've got some flat leaf parsley, some about 250 grams of chopped butter mushrooms, again about 250 grams of chopped bacon, some chopped shallots, and we've kept the green bits from the top of the shallots just to add in at the end. They add a bit of colour and they add a bit of extra flavour and crunch to the end of the dish. We've got some fresh garlic that I've crushed, some salt and pepper. Here we have some mushroom stock. Now this is made from dried mushrooms which have been left to infuse in hot water, and you can do it in any time from 20 minutes to a couple of hours depending on what time you've got available. Other bits we'll need are some cream and a bit of white wine. So let's get started with the sauce. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fry off our garlic. Now we don't want our olive oil too hot because we don't want the garlic to burn while we're doing this. We just want it to fry and infuse into the sauce, into the oil. We've got our shallots going in and we've got our bacon. So after a few minutes of our shallots and our garlic and our bacon sizzling away in the olive oil, we're just going to throw in our mushrooms. Mix it all around. And we're going to give them about 2 minutes just to soften up and let their juices start escaping with the rest of the sauce. Now you can see by now that most of the oil has been soaked up into the food, and we've got bits of garlic and shallot and that starting to stick to the bottom of the pan. This is alright because we have the heat on a medium-high heat, not too hot so it's not going to burn. And we're going to add some white wine soon to deglaze the bottom of the pan, so to loosen all that stuff up and to let it cook in a bit of a dew. So we're going to add our white wine in here now, and you'll see it start sizzling away. And you'll see if you just gently rub it, all that beautiful garlic which is on the bottom of the pan will come loose and mix in back around with everything. And just after a few seconds, when we've let the alcohol burn out, I'm going to add a swig of our homemade mushroom stock. Now if you're in a rush, you can leave out the wine and the mushroom stock, and that'll take about 10-15 minutes of the cooking time of your sauce. But by adding them in, just allows a lot more flavours to develop through the sauce. So we'll let that bubble away and reduce for a while until we get a thick consistency down the bottom, and we'll come back and look at it soon. Okay, so after about 10 minutes, our sauce has reduced down by half. We've still got a bit of liquid down the bottom here, but that's alright because when we add the cream, that'll thicken up. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to, we've got a pot of boiling salted water here, and we're going to add some tortellini. We're just using store-bought tortellini because we're after just a quick weeknight meal here. So we just put that in. And you know the tortellini is ready when it's all floating at the top and bubbling around. while that's doing its thing, we're just going to add the cream. We've got a 600ml cream here, and we're going to add most of it. Just save a little bit. You can thicken that up later and put over some strawberries for dessert. And while that's there, we're going to season our sauce with some salt and pepper. And we're going to throw in quite a bit of our chopped flat leaf parsley. Just save a little bit for when we put it in bowls to garnish it with. And the last bit, the crunchy green bits from the top of our shallots. Give that a bit of a stir around. We're going to turn the heat up a little bit to high. Going to leave that for another 5 minutes or so until you see the cream start to evaporate from the side of the pan, and then you know it's done. Alright, our tortellini has mostly started to come to the top of the pan. We'll just give it another few seconds. You don't want to overcook it, otherwise it just becomes soft and soggy and falling apart and not very nice. You still want it to hold its shape, and the tips just slightly start to come apart, then you know it's really ready. So we'll take it off the heat, and we'll just drain that. Okay, so you can see around the side here where the line where the cream was up here and how it's started to evaporate and reduce down. So it means that our sauce is starting to thicken up. So we take our pasta, we just, it's been sitting a few minutes, we just break it up a little bit with some tongs. And we just pour that in. I'm just going to give it a good mix around, let it get right down the bottom so the sauce can get into all the grooves of the tortellini. Really stick to it. And you can see through there, we get that lovely colour of the parsley and the big bits of the shallot. It just gives it that nice bit of colour to lift the dish a bit, good for presentation. Add some more seasoning to it. Through. And here we have it, our really simple midweek tortellini boscaiola. We're just sprinkling some fresh parsley over it to give it some colour and some more beautiful fresh flavour. A little bit of Parmesan cheese. Who are we kidding? A lot of Parmesan cheese. What pasta isn't complete without Parmesan cheese? And a final crack of salt and pepper. Finish it off, and here we have a really tasty midweek tortellini boscaiola. Serve it with some salad, serve it with some crusty bread or some garlic bread, and all up you're looking at about 25 minutes to get it from start onto your table. Enjoy!